Hello my friends, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video, which is going to be my January Eyeshadow Palette Extravaganza. I purchased a decent amount of palettes during the month of January, but what's ironic is that I had recently done a video on how mini palettes are so not functional. They just don't get used here at my house, and what did I buy? The majority of them are mini palettes, but there is quite a bit to go through, and I just kind of want to give you little rapid reviews on each just so that you know how they worked out for me and so that you know if they would be right for you. So if you're interested in seeing all of the palettes that I picked up in the month of January, then just keep on watching. So I think I'm going to start us off with the two that are full size, not mini palettes, and they are the BH Cosmetics Sweet Shop palettes. So I purchased two of them. I really regret not picking up the full collection when it was on the Ulta website. That has since gone away. You can only get them on bhcosmetics.com, and in fact, they had restocked and most of them have since sold out again. And these are the two that I actually wanted the most, so I was happy that they were in stock, but there's a couple that I also really wanted that are not in stock. I signed up for the email notification, but who knows when that's going to come out. So I did pick up Cherry on Top and Orange Sorbet, and the reason I had not picked these up on the Ulta website is because I had watched somebody's video, I don't remember who, and they had done a comparison of these to ColourPop, to the monochromatics, and they had mentioned that they're very, very similar. Even did swatch comparisons, and I was like, I don't need to spend the money, I don't need them. Well, I saw somebody else's 2020 end of year favorites, and these were on there, and I was just mesmerized by what was on her eyes, and I had to pick them up. So I am actually sad to say they are not very similar. I don't find that they're as similar to the ColourPop ones as I had thought, and I'm sad to say that because I didn't pick them up while they were on the Ulta website. So Orange Sorbet is obviously a very orange themed palette, and I will tell you the pan sizes are very generous, and what makes this so amazing are the metallics, which are the kind of finish that I typically go for. The mattes also perform really, really nicely. There's a good amount of depth in these palettes. They are obviously very monochromatic. You're going to get super different shades of the same color, but it just is so fun to play with and work with. And every time I've worn these, I've gotten a ton of comments on my videos. So these are really, really great for the price point. I can't remember how much they were. As usual, I will link them in the description box below in case you're interested, but they are really awesome for the price point. As you would expect for ColourPop, Juvia's Place, BH Cosmetics, they just are very good quality for the price point, and these were no exception. So pretty. And do you see this metallic finish? Those are the types of shades I live for. I love using those types of eyeshadows. I could use that on my full eye without any mattes if necessary. So definitely recommend this one if you enjoy orange tone shadows. It's worth it, regardless of what you own by ColourPop. The other one is Cherry on Top. I love me a good red eyeshadow. So the thing about red eyeshadows is that it's hard to find one that doesn't then turn pink. For it to stay like a true red, it's very difficult to find. I have a couple in my collection, but for the most part, if it's red, it ends up turning pink as I apply it and as a little bit of time goes on. This has a red that stays true cherry red. So, and looking at this, there is some pink in here. So these two, I wouldn't consider them to really be red. I would consider them more to be in the pink family. But this one right here will stay true red on your eyelid. It's so pretty. But yeah, I don't know why this one is a cherry palette. It's got some pink. I'm okay with it because I do love good pink eyeshadow. But this is what these look like. Here's the red. And then obviously these two are very pink. But again, super metallic, and for the price point, you can't find something this good like at Sephora or Ulta high end that performs this well for that price point. So pretty, so pigmented. Again, if you are a pink/red eyeshadow lover, then this is for you. I did not include this in my top 10 pink eyeshadow palettes for Valentine's Day. It was still kind of new, and I was still trying to like really play with it and just, you know, figure it out. And not only that, but it has some red. It wasn't like I included like non-pink ones in that video, but anywho, this one's a definite honorable mention. to supplement that video if you're looking for a good Valentine's Day eyeshadow palette. Okay, so let's move on. So we've got, I don't know how I'm gonna do swatches when I've already filled this up. Anyways, let's move on to all of the bite-sized eyeshadow palettes. So I picked up all 5 of the ColourPop, what were these called? I don't even think they have an actual name, but they were the little 5-pan bite-sized eyeshadow palettes. So they come in Amore, Crush, Lyric, so sorry, and then Ballad, and this one is Cherish. Cherish and Amore are my 2 favorites. Obviously, look at the color schemes, so pretty. But these are just, it's funny because again, it's ironic that I had filmed that video that these types of palettes just don't get used here, and yet here I am purchasing a 5-pan palette. They're so good because they take the thought process really out of your whole look, because you've got 5 shades to work with. And really it's like, okay, take a matte for your crease, take a metallic for your lid, and if you want the pressed glitter, then you have a little bit of extra something. Not all of these came with a pressed glitter. 2 out of the 5 did, and they were Amore and Lyric. These 2 do have a pressed glitter in the middle. The other 3 do not, but there's really something for everybody in this. There's like the cool tone gray, there's the warm tone neutrals, you've got like the berries, the pinks, and then kind of like the browns. Just very, very pretty. I ended up wanting to go for the bundle. That's why I ended up picking them all up. Otherwise, I wouldn't have picked up this one. I typically don't go for the cooler tone type shades, but it's still very pretty. And what I found about these is that they are very consistent with the ColourPop formula. They perform so nicely. When they came in, and I still find this to be the case, the whole cover on the inside and on the outside was very dusty, like it had been sitting in a warehouse for a while. So I did clean those down and they looked really nice after, but they are, the pans of product are so dusty that the insides are starting to look like that again. And I don't think you're gonna be able to see that, but just for reference, these are very dusty, powdery formulas. But like I said, you kind of get everything you need. And I love these little sequin shades, which I know them to be sequins from like the Tati palette. And so I very much like when brands put those in. One of you had commented recently saying, don't promote the sequin shades, I don't like those. So I think it's kind of just a personal preference on who likes what. What I like about the sequin shades in these palettes is that they actually, the sparkle actually stays, especially if you use a tacky base. But these, I don't find the sparkle to really buff out as much as like the Too Faced ones, for example. So definitely a multitude of finishes here, and for such small palettes, you really get a good amount of finishes and shades, especially if you combine them all. So these are, again, I would highly recommend these, and they're like $10 each. I want to say with the bundle, they came out to like $8 each, which I think was pretty decent. So definitely recommend these little guys. And again, if you're against the pressed glitters, maybe steer clear of the pressed glitters, but let me give you the pressed glitter from Amore. It's so pretty. It's got like a violet type of sparkle in there that's really, really like multi-dimensional. It's very, very pretty. And I love using this one. This one's also like really great for Valentine's Day, but that's it right there. And it's probably one of my favorite pressed glitters by ColourPop, which is saying a lot. It comes in a little baby palette, but anyways, definitely recommend those. I wasn't sure how I was going to like them just because it was the first time ColourPop's done something like this, and I was very happy with what they did. Okay, so moving on, let's go into the next little palette, and this is the Too Faced That's My Jam. So they had released about 4 of these. This is the only one that spoke to me, and when you see the color scheme, you'll know why. It's what I'm wearing on my eyes today, and this is what it looks like. So I'm all about the bright shades, the pinks, the purples, the super metallics, the multi-chromes, and this had that. Not only that, I felt it was like pretty unique. It's a little bit more different to what you see from Too Faced, because yes, Too Faced does a lot of what a ton of brands do, including ColourPop, and they repeat a lot of shades, put a different name on it, but it's just slightly different than the last. And this to me was very different than what I had seen in at least in a very long time from Too Faced. So it's got like a iridescent violet type of shade. It's got this beautiful like green champagne and then this bright pink, which is right up my alley. So again, it's what I'm wearing today. Let me give you a couple of swatches on these because again, super pretty, very different from what I'm used to seeing from ColourPop, especially these two right here. So let's see if I can find room on my hand. See how pretty these are. Now, granted, you could use them one of two ways. You could use them as a like just all over the lid or as a topper. They are a little on the thinner side. So if you do use them as a standalone, they're not as opaque. You do have to go in with 2 or 3 layers, but very, very pretty. For me, I was happy with this purchase because very different. And at this point, when you have so many eyeshadow palettes, it's hard to really find different to add to your collection. So we've got a couple more palettes. So they're both Charlotte Tilbury. I have jumped on the Charlotte Tilbury bandwagon and I did purchase 2. So a luxury palette of Pops, which was the limited edition one for holiday. And then I did pick up one of her Hollywood Flawless Eye filters, which is very unlike me because I don't like subtle. I like bold and I like kind of just in your face colors for eyeshadow, but something about her formula is so beautiful. It's so elegant. It packs a punch while still kind of being subtle. And I knew I wanted to try this and it is what it is. It's so pretty. I'd say it's kind of a step down in the sense of her Bejeweled palette, but not step down in a bad way. It's just, I don't know how to describe it to you. It's probably also the shades that I picked up because they are a lighter type of shade. And let's see, this is what they look like. And I picked up the one in, I think, Star Aura, which was the lightest of the 3 that she released, but still so, so pretty, very elegant, just perfect for like a simple look. And I have used these quite a bit at this point because at this point, a lot of us are doing simple. So very, very pretty and just as easy to work with as all her others. I've heard like multiple things on it being a different formula, which I think it is, but that these are smaller, but they're not. I don't know. All I know is I wanted to try it and I very much liked it. So, I mean, it's not going to appeal to everybody. It's going to be for the person who wants that more toned down type of look, but with still like a glow, because her shadows do have a glow. It's very, very pretty. I can't explain it. And again, from someone who really loves an eyeshadow that packs a punch, it says a lot that I would really enjoy something like this. Okay, lastly is the palette of Pops in Dazzling Diamonds, which again is the holiday version, I believe. So I really like her covers. Her packaging is just very, very pretty. It's very luxe and I like that whole experience. I also like on the inside how it's got the gold and it's got the Charlotte Tilbury in here. Just really pretty. It's like you watch people's videos and you're like, oh, that's so nice. But then when you get one, you're like, ooh, I love it. So this is what it looks like. It looks very basic. It really does. But each one of them has like such a pretty sheen and a sparkle that they just are very, it's like they're very transformative on the eyes. They look basic in the pan, but once you put them on the eyes, you're like, wow, this looks nice. So the deepest shade looks intimidating. It's actually not. It does tone down quite a bit once you start putting it on the lid. I don't know if it shears out, kind of does, but it's got this sheen that doesn't make it look as scary. And I have actually really enjoyed using this. I've also really enjoyed using this shade right here, which it thins out in the swatch, but once you put it on the eye, again, something about the Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow formula that is just so amazing. And I think it's probably my favorite formula of any eyeshadow formula I've ever used, of any brand, and that's quite the statement. It's just something about it is so, so nice. Anyways, so again, doesn't look like a whole lot, but then once you start placing it on the eye, you're like, wow, this is really, really nice. So anyways, again, not for everybody, but for the person who wants that, you know, extra little glow, but kind of toning it down from super bold party shades, then this is for you. I mean, obviously the price point is also going to deter, but if you like it, and you know, you kind of just go for it. But I think these were like 50 something each. I know, never in a million years did I think I'd be buying quads at that price, but kind of got suckered in. Anyways, that brings us to the end, guys, of my January eyeshadow palette extravaganza. Seems like a lot because of all of the little mini palettes, but yeah, there was just a lot of fun stuff to play with in the month of January. Maybe not as much as other months, but yeah, definitely a good eyeshadow palette month, and eyeshadow palettes are my favorite thing to buy in the beauty world. All right, my friends, so on that note, it is time to wrap up this video, and I will leave you with a quick verse of the day to motivate you and encourage you. Today's comes from Psalm 37:3, and it says, "Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and feed on his faithfulness." If there is one thing I can promise you, it is that God is so faithful. He will never let you down. If so many people have let you down, then it's my encouragement to you to give him a chance, because he will prove time and time again that he is faithful and will never let you down, never break your heart, never betray your trust. So with that, I will throw up a phone number in case you need prayer, in case you're in a difficult place, in case your heart is lonely, empty, whatever the case may be. If you just need somebody to talk to and pour your heart out to, I will throw up a phone number, and it's no obligation or anything. It's just literally there for you. You can write it down and use it whenever you need it. It's there for you to use. So thank you guys for stopping by and spending some time with me today, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, please stay safe and stay well. Remember that I love you, but Jesus loves you so much more. See you soon. Bye, guys.